What's up, guys? There are a lot of false beliefs that people hold about training that are holding them back. So not only do I have to tell you guys what the right beliefs to hold with training are, but I have to make sure that you don't believe some false things that you might believe so that it doesn't hold you back in your training, okay? But first, I want to read you guys some testimonials that I've gotten recently from some of my clients and some of the guys that are in the Skool community. So first of all, this guy's one of my one-on-one training clients. He said, bench is going well today, so I went for 250 and got it. We've doubled my bench since I started. That's pretty awesome. Another guy in the Skool group, he said, I did not imagine in a month's time I'd be at 250. He's talking about his deadlift. I think I originally mentioned I struggled at 225, so we've added 25 pounds to his deadlift in a month. Another guy said, I've been running a shit ton for a marathon training, and I had the flu, and I still hit 225 for 6 by following the program. My old PR was a triple, phenomenal programming. Finally, this guy said, I strained my L5-S1 about 6 months ago, and I've tried a lot of different things to try to get rid of my back pain. So I'm going to try the QL rotations and see if it helps. The next day, he says, dude, those QL rotations helped a ridiculous amount. You have no idea how much that single exercise just changed my life, LOL. So these are guys that are my one-on-one clients and guys that are in my Skool community that are getting these results. So if you want to get results like that, go join the Skool community. All right, 3 false beliefs about training that need to die. All right, the first one, you have to destroy yourself every time you train, okay? So we have a culture where we think that to get better at something, to get results, you have to work as hard as possible at it, okay? Yes, there's a time and place for training as hard as possible, but that doesn't mean that every time you leave the gym, you should leave in a sweaty puddle, feeling destroyed, feeling like you have to drag yourself out of there and like you can barely move. In fact, most of your training sessions, you should probably leave feeling like you have a little bit more left in the tank because we need to leave some for next time, okay? There's a lot of adaptation that takes place that doesn't necessarily have to do with just training to failure, okay? Your nervous system and the way that you move your body has a lot to do with your strength and your ability. It's not necessarily about the way that your muscles feel, okay? So you have to follow a progressive program that overloads you when it's appropriate, not just go to the gym and bust your ass every single time, because that's what a lot of people do, and a lot of people think that's going to make them progress forever, and it doesn't, because eventually you'll stall out doing that. If that was all that you had to do to make progress in the gym, I wouldn't have a job and training programs wouldn't even exist, because you would just go in there and just do as many of whatever as you can until failure, and then you would get better, and it just doesn't work like that. False belief number 2, you should train again the second you aren't sore. All right, so soreness or lack of soreness doesn't necessarily mean that you are making progress, and it also doesn't necessarily mean that you recovered if you aren't sore. Okay, there's a lot that goes into if you're ready to train a muscle or a movement again, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with how your body feels, okay? So you have to listen to the program and follow it and, use these tried and true methods, and that's what you should base your training off of. Not necessarily, oh, my chest isn't sore 2 days later, so I guess I'll go for a max bench press again. All right, it's not how you get a better bench press. Point 3, false belief, your max is all that matters. All right, so yes, we use your 1 rep max as an objective way to measure your progress and to base percentages and things off of, but it's just a reference point, okay? So unless you're a competitive powerlifter where you're peaking for a meet and that one day in your sport is all that matters, your 1 rep max doesn't really matter all that much because it fluctuates so much. Most of my clients are police, firemen, people that just want to be, ready for whatever life throws at them. So what's more important to them is the floor, what they can do every day or on their worst day, not the ceiling, what they can do on their best day, one time out of the year, okay? I'm more concerned with, hey, what can you do on a moment's notice at any given time? So these are 3 false beliefs that need to die so that you can make more progress in your training. Go join the Skool community. Hit me up if you want some more advice.